A Lexington man says he and several hundred others experienced a major breach of privacy when the State Cabinet for Health and Family Services mailed out extremely personal information. Lisa, she's live in the LEX18 newsroom to explain.
Well, Kevin, imagine your most sensitive health information being posted on the outside of an envelope that's left out in the open for all your neighbors to see. That's what a Lexington HIV patient says happened to him. Now, for obvious reasons, he didn't want to be identified, but contacted us because he believes the cabinet acted carelessly when they mailed out information pertaining to the Kentucky AIDS Drug Assistance Program. He says the envelope, which was too big to put in his mailbox, was left out in the open. On it, the return address of the AIDS HIV branch. Feeling exposed, he says one person even left a nasty note on his card telling him to move. In all, close to 1,000 similar letters were mailed out across the state.
It's one of the deepest, darkest secrets that I want to keep private, and I'm sure that everyone has secrets that they never want to share with no one except God. This was one that was right up there. I never wanted anyone to know.
And so what happened, who is responsible? We'll tell you what the Cabinet for Health and Family Services had to say coming up in our next half hour.
Lisa, the big story. Your most personal and private health information is supposed to be confidential, right? Well, a Lexington man says his HIV information was posted on the outside of an envelope for all his neighbors to see. LEX18's Lee Searcy's in the newsroom with more.
Well, Kevin, the man who doesn't want to be identified is HIV positive. He gets financial help from the Kentucky AIDS Drug Assistance Program. While the program does a lot of good, he says he never expected his deepest, darkest secret to be printed on the outside of an envelope. More in tonight's LEX18 Big Story at 5:30.
I feel like that a huge part of my life has just been opened up for the public to be able to view.
John, as we'll call him, learned he was HIV positive in 2004. For 3 years, he's received financial help from the Kentucky AIDS Drug Assistance Program to pay for his expensive medication. It's a secret he wanted to keep. After all, he says he was assured all of his information would be treated with the strictest confidentiality.
I feel like that everyone that lives within my building knows all about my business.
That's because he says the Cabinet for Health and Family Services Department of Public Health mailed out an envelope that mistakenly contained the name of the HIV/AIDS branch as the return address. Because it was too big to put in a mailbox, John says it was left out in the open for his neighbors to see. He's already gotten a nasty note from one person.
I did receive the note on my car asking me to move, to vacate, or if not, they was going to complain to the management about it.
More than 900 similar envelopes were mailed. In this letter to patients, the cabinet blames a miscommunication with our printing services for the mistake. It goes on to state that from now on, all printing requests will be reviewed by the HIV/AIDS branch manager, and that staff will double-check the return address on each envelope. Still, for this patient,
I know that they're really apologetic that it happened, but we're talking about my life. You know, how apologetic are they going to be if I came out to get in my car and I'm beaten up, or, you know, anything, if my home's vandalized or if my car's vandalized? I mean, what am I going to do?
and John says really he feels like moving, but he can't afford to. He really hopes the cabinet follows through on those extra checkpoints. Back to you.
And again, the cabinet has